for us at least, just like some of your projects, maybe all of your projects, we can't find a third party that would be able to effectively operate our communities the way we do because they're between 40 to 120 units. So most of our communities don't have on-site team members. And our maintenance team kind of operates like a home services company for the most part. You know, they hit our main office and our warehouse in the morning, and then they hit each community and knock out the tasks as they need to. How's your setup on, the leasing maintenance side? And also with each company, do you have some synergy in terms of team members, or is it all, are they all their own separate silo?
Yeah, so I'll start with the easy question first, which is they're all siloed, except for the partners. So, and Heather. So I talked about Heather before. So she really is helpful on the property management side, the capital markets advisory, development consultancy, and then the investment management through AHM Group. But otherwise, other than Heather and the partners, we try to be siloed to create experts in their field. That is really the goal.
Do you have on-site team members at each community or property, or how are you kind of running it?
So we're trying to break this down in a different way. And so what we're doing is focusing on specific neighborhoods that we are really fond of. So it's like whenever do you want to work with somebody that you like? Obviously, much more like that is a big priority. And so what we do, we take that to the next level and say, we want to develop and own assets in neighborhoods that we think are really fun and are likable neighborhoods and have a lot of opportunity and potential. And so then we have selected specific neighborhoods and we'll do one-off small-scale projects, a 26-unit project, a 27-unit project, but they'll all be located within 3 or 4 blocks of each other. And so we've done that in 4-ish specific neighborhoods within the city of St. Louis, and that allows us to operate those properties as a larger property. We don't have specific on-site property management teams for the Tower Grove South assets, but for each one. But we really do because we're operating 3 or 4 properties as effectively one property.
Got it. That makes sense. So you're more focused on geography than property when it comes to your teams.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And then how close does an asset need to be in order for it to be lumped in with the others? Like, can it be a 5-minute drive, or do you want within a 10-minute walk, or what's your preference there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that our preference is that it's within 5 to 10 blocks of each other.
Got it.
That's really the way. And everything that we're doing is urban, and so it's less about the drive time and more about the physical, closeness.
As far as branding goes, like let's say you mentioned Tower Grove South.
Yeah.
Will all 4 assets there have similar branding so that folks know that these are all AHM properties, or do you try to keep them separate?
Yeah, we don't actively try to keep them separate, but they all have their own personalities, if you will, and we let each of the projects take their own personalities to the extent that that's possible. So no, we don't kind of co-brand assets, but a tenant will know that we own the multiple properties, typically because we'll say, oh, you have this specific unit type that you want to look at in this specific budget. Well, we have 3 different units across 3 different properties that are available, and we have no preference. Like, we want to show you all of them. And so they'll very quickly realize, like, oh, they do a good job of kind of the relationship management side of the property management, and they own all of these properties. And so these guys are around every day.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
One thing that I think for folks like myself that are not operating in an urban environment, one thing to keep in mind is your clientele there is going to look different than your suburban clientele.
Yeah.
And they may appreciate not having the co-branding. So having that boutique or unique experience at each property. So it sounds like that really goes into your thought process with each development.
That's right. Yeah. For example, Mofo is the first project that we built in Tower Grove South. That was a ground up development on an old car wash. And then a block south of that is a project called YO. And we kept an existing 2.5-story structure and wrapped a new 4-story structure around that. So YO and Mofo, they're kind of similar, but if you look at the branding design packages, like, they're completely different.